Good evening. Greeting to all the saints or everybody. I know June have been not a good month. Since the beginning of this month, we have seen the scourge rising of the COVID infections, high number of deaths never recorded before. And we understand, and I understand that there's so much fear that is going on around the country, fear of the COVID and fear of death, fear of losing loved ones. But this evening, I just want to encourage someone, and I just want you to share the broadcast with as many people as you can. And we are going to read from the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10. And I know some people are having a lot of questions. If God is truly there, where is He? If God is there, why is He not doing anything? Why is God allowing these things to happen? You need to understand something. God have never been in charge of the earth. Men have been in charge of the earth. And if me and you knows very well, we know that viruses are not in a nature, and they are not biological. You know, viruses are man-made. It's a mistake from the lab or somewhere something happened and the virus break out. But you know, anything in nature heals itself. The fact that this virus needs some artificial intelligence to get rid of it, it means it's not something in nature. But I want you to understand that the earth was given to men to rule. When God created Adam and Eve, He says, have dominion, fill the earth, replenish it, and rule it. You know, the earth belongs to men. We, whatever is happening here, we are the one who are in charge. And that's why you see that we have all the scientists going on trying to rectify this mistake, coming up with the vaccinations and so forth. So, but I just want to encourage you from a biblical point of view. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I'll strengthen you and help you. I'll uphold you with my righteous right hand. God says, do not be afraid. Do not fear. Yes, we are seeing death left and right. We are hearing a high number of infection going on and on. But God is saying, as a child of God, don't fear. Don't fear. Don't be afraid. Don't be dismayed. God is saying, I am your God, and I will strengthen you, and I will help you. So I want you to understand, you know, God never said you will not have troubles in this world. God never said you will not have death coming upon you. You will not have troubles. You will not have persecutions. You will not have pestilences. In fact, the Bible speaks about these things coming upon men. And therefore, God is saying, even though you go through the fires, I am there with you. When you go through the rivers, I am there with you. When situations are tough, I am there with you. And that's why King David says, even though I go through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Yes, we have an enemy, but we have a God who is greater than the enemy. We have a God who works through men. And that's when we need to stand as children of God. Stand in prayer, stand in supplication, stand and ask God for direction, for guidance. And I really want to say, we must also not, as believers, not defy the rules, the principles of God that are there, even the rules and the principles that men have given us. You know, isolation is not something new. It's something old. In those days, when a person gets a leprosy, that person is supposed to isolate until they are healed. It's not something new. It's things that God have given us, mechanisms to help us to prevent the outbreak of virus. And that's why we need to make sure we maintain the distance. We make sure we wear our mask. We need to make sure we sanitize as we are being told. But one thing we must not allow to happen to us is to fear. Fear should not be our portion as children of God. We got to stand up and pray. We got to stand up and stand in a gap and intercede for our nation, intercede for our people, intercede for this world, because the enemy is coming. You know, remember, anything that's against God, anything that against the principles and the laws of God is not of God, is of the enemy. And we know all these viruses, all these diseases, all these things are not the will of God. But yet God cannot intervene in men's affair unless men seek the counsel of God, unless men seek the guidance, the leadership of God. All what God can do is to give us the direction, the leadership, the guidance on what to do. But he will not intervene because he gives the world to sons of men. The Bible says the heavens, even the heavens belongs to God, but the earth belongs to the sons of men. So this earth belongs to us. If there will be any solution, is men. And that's why you see that when sin rampant the world, when sin took over the whole world and the enemy took over the whole world, God did not just come and intervene. He had to send a man to come and die for men, to redeem men from sin. So it's only men that can save men. But unless men allow a divine influence, unless men allow God to minister to us, God to guide us, God to lead us, God to show us the way, then we won't be in trouble. And that's why, as children of God, this is not the time to be afraid. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to give up, or even on God to say, maybe there is not even God. This is now the time for you and me to stand up, and stand up so serious, and go in a secret place where we can meet with God face to face, where we can go and find out the intentions, the mind of God. What is God saying about this situation? What is God really want us to do in this moment? What God want us to have? You know, we need to start now seeking God like never before. It's not time to complain. It's not time to murmur. It's not time to retrieve. It's not time to run away. It's not time to throw in a tower, but it's a time to go on our knees. Every battle is first won on the knees before it's won physically. So there are some people who are trying their best, the scientists trying their best to find whatever various vaccinations they are out now for helping us. But we need to go on the knees, because some of these people are not believers. They don't know God. And that's why you see that there's so much confusion about, should we take the vaccine? Should we not take the vaccine? Because believers are also now caught up in these conspiracy theories, and we are not ready to go on our knees. We are not ready to seek the face of God, to find out what is God saying. And that's why I'm imploring you this night. It's not your place as a child of God to fear. It's not your place as a child of God to give up. It's not your place as a child of God to throw in a tower. Your place is on your knees. Your place is to seek his face. Your place is to say, God, here I am. We need direction. We need guidance. Show us, what do we need to do? Where do we need to go from here? What is that? And this is the moment that the church need to realize that there are so many people even who are dying without Christ. We can't cower now. It's time for us to reach out. It's time to minister. It's time to preach. It's time for us to transform lives, so that some of these souls that are going may not lose salvation. So it's not your place and my place as a children of God. It's time that we stand on the gap. But the Bible says, don't be afraid. Don't fear, for I am with you. I am your God. I will strengthen you and I will help you. God is ready to strengthen you in this moment. Even some of you who are listening to me, you might be at the sick bed. You might be tested positive with the virus, but it's not your point to fear. It's not your point to give up. It's your point to seek the face of God. It's your point to pray. It's your point to rebuke the enemy and say, enemy of progress, away from my life, away from my body, away from the children of God. And this is the moment that the church needs to rise up and fight this enemy from all angles, from every direction. It's not time to complain. It's not time to murmur. It's not time to say what is working and what is not working. It's time for us to seek the face of God. And therefore, I just want to remind you again, as a child of God, even if you are not yet born again and you are watching me, it's time for you to seek the face of God. But this is what God is saying. Do not fear. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will help you. Surely God will help us. Surely God will help us even in this pandemic. Surely God will help us. But you have to do what you can do. Leave the rest to God. Trust in him. Pray. Seek his face. But you got to do what you got to do. Use your mask. Sanitize. Maintain distance. And whatever possible gathering you might find yourself, make sure that you obey the rules. 10 people only. and you maintain the distance and do all the other things. But God says, I will help you. It's the time now to seek the face of God. For God say, I will help you. I will strengthen you. I will uphold you. Oh, Marie Kayonde Mazote Libaka. God is upholding somebody tonight. God is helping somebody tonight. And it's your place not to fear. It's your place to seek the face of God. Hallelujah. God, he says, I will uphold you with my righteous hand. So this is the time now as a child of God to seek the face of God. It's not time to complain. It's not time to murmur. It's not time to talk too much. It's time to seek his face on your knees and ask God for leadership, for guidance, and fight this invisible enemy and command this enemy to go to the pit of hell where it come from while we are doing the right thing. Well, it was just a word of admonishing, word of encouragement from me, Satio Kupololo. See you next time.